My favorite.
It's Judd's Hockey Show.
Judd's Hockey Show. It's the mega edition. It's the Wednesday edition, which means it's Judd, Jessi Pierce, NHL.com, of course, Bar Down Beauties, which you can find on the Score North podcast feed as well. They have joined the Score North family, talking about all the ails a hockey team that can't score a 5-on-5 goal. AJ Fredrickson, as always, on the show. All right, let's just rip the Band-Aid off. We all watched it last night. National telecast, ESPN. The Wild lose to the Dallas Stars. So here's the situation, folks. In the opener against the St. Louis Blues, the Wild scored 5 goals, 5-0. It was a great game, fantastic. 4 of the goals were scored at 5-on-5. All right? So 1 power play goal. Since then, the Wild has played 9 periods of hockey. I'm not including the OT against the Kings. They have played 9 periods of hockey. And by the way, the last goal against the Blues came at 7:27 of the third period. That was 5-on-5 by Marco Rossi. Since then, they have not scored a 5-on-5 goal. And now I'm sure there are some who would rave about the power play, and we can get to that. We'll talk about it. I'm sure there are some who would be paid to ignore the ills that this team has. In fact, there are people who are paid to ignore those. But we will not on this show. Jessi Pierce, you asked about this after the Kings game. I mean, it reared its head again last night. And I'll ask one simple question. What the hell is going on?
It's insane, right? Like, you're right. It's good the power play is clicking. I mean, they almost have more power play goals now through 4 games, than they did all of last season. It's just kind of incredible stat if you think about it. So that's all fine and well. You need to be able to score 5-on-5. The thing that's curious is they don't seem to feel that they're not generating the chances. Like, you're clearly not 5-on-5. Even strength, I mean, you're getting the shots, but they're not quality shots. And some of the shot attempts, and I think Matt Baldi is one guy who is consistently putting up some of those high attempt numbers from high danger areas, which is good. We love that. Nobody's getting down low. Nobody's there for these rebounds. Nobody's crashing the net. Nobody's Joel Eriksson-ecking it, if you will. And I think Marco Rossi was the one player to kind of admit that to me post-game on Monday night when we last spoke about it, when I asked every player, like, what do we do about 5-on-5? And Kirill says, I don't know. And John Hines says, I don't know. And Marco's like, we get down low. And that was about the only little bit of clarity I got on it. Because it is concerning. As much as people want to say, well, why? The power play is good. You should score on a power play. You have an extra man out there, sometimes 2 extra bodies out there. You should score on the power play. That's the whole, by design, by concept, that's the point. What's difficult to do and what is important to do is scoring 5-on-5. And right now, yes, it's early, but you have to figure out a way to fix this. There's no break. This condensed schedule before the Olympic break is going to have game after game after game. You don't have time to practice and figure it out. You need to figure it out now.
It's not fun to watch this team just in play on 5-on-5, waiting anxiously for the next power play to come around, because they're going to get a couple a game, but like, I don't want to sink into the couch and just like, okay, I can probably set up my phone and sort of like, they're not going to do anything. Like, what Marco Rossi's comment on Monday tells me is that what he's been told, I think, for his entire stint in Minnesota, which is, if you want to earn your ice time, you got to get to the dirty areas. And he's, 5'6", 5'7", and he knows they got to do that. So why aren't the other guys that are bigger, taller, also doing this in a team that Bill Guerin has now built this culture of, it's grit first and choose your heart and all this stuff. Well, right now you're making it real damn hard on yourself, because you can't score in a 5-on-5 situation, which is the primary situation that you're playing in these hockey games. You're just not doing anything. And yes, the first 2 minutes of last night's game was fantastic. They looked great, but then you took about a period and another 15 minutes off before you decided, oh, you know what? Maybe we should try to win this game. Maybe we should actually, you got to get down low. You got to start moving the puck more. And this is where Judd was pointing at this for the past couple of shows here, which is John Hines was going to, at some point, spread the wealth of that top line. We see it last night. And was that the reason that they started generating more chances? Maybe not. I mean, they got a couple power plays late and they scored on that, obviously, because why wouldn't they? That's not sustainable. This is not sustainable, right? Mm-hmm. like eventually you're going to fall off the table, and this is going to be a team that just can't score altogether.
The power play was great to start last year too. Remember, like we were like, oh, look at this power play. Like it was very similar. I don't know that they were scoring quite at the clip rate that they were. They weren't getting as many penalties called for them either. But I remember last year we're like, yeah, of course this makes sense. Brock Faber on the top unit and Kirill at the bumper and blah blah blah. Like it very similar to that.
Working harder, like, would definitely probably help. And at some point in time, like, yes, you should just be able to score 5-on-5 goals once in a while at least. I don't care if you're Wayne Gretzky or Yakov Trenin. But here's where I run into a problem, and it was brought up on the telecast last night. Okay, first of all, it sounds like from the production meetings, they're pointing to Matt Zuccarello is out. Like this, he is Kirill's buddy, and that's fine. But Matt Zuccarello's an old man, so like if you're pointing out Matt Zuccarello is going to save the day in what now 6 weeks or 5 weeks, he's going to come back and save the day. Like that's our 5-on-5 guy. I'm hard pressed to buy that. And Jessi, the other thing though that really concerns me is, like, unless you think that Zuccarello is in his prime, the other thing that really concerns me is, and AJ and I have gone through this a little bit as well, when you get past Kaprizov and Baldi, look at the wings. Like, I don't care what you do. You can stick them in a blender, but Yakov Trenin and Foligno with Hartman, who, by the way, the past couple games has gone back to exactly what I feared, which is he's out there, he takes a penalty, but he doesn't do much. Tarasenko with Johansson, and last night they juggled the lines a couple of times in the second and then third, but at the end of the game it was Eriksson, Ek, Baldi, and Kaprizov. So basically what they did was they told Rossi, hey, we're going to put you with these two stiffs. We're going to take Ek because we feel bad for him and stick him with two players. But it doesn't solve, like, that's not juggling the lines. That doesn't solve the problem. And then, on the fourth line, Ogren, who you will not give substantial playing time to, Yurov, who I actually think in 2 games has played well, and the very fleet of foot, Vinny Hinostroza. But the reality is this, on those first 3 lines, like, I just don't see much there. Other than that first line, I don't see a lot there where it's like, who's going to get real hot? Yakov Trenin. He's going to get really hot. So, yes, this is a problem of frustration as well. And yes, I agree with AJ. They took basically a period and a half at least off last night. But outside of that, like, what's going to change here unless, again, you think Matt's is going to come and save the day eventually?
I want to get to the period by period thing, because what is this team? The identity of this team has not been clear, because it's like, all right, some games you're fire in the first period, like Monday night against the Kings, right? Like, oh my gosh, you're coming out, but you can't hold the lead. You blow it in the second and third. Other games, all of a sudden, you're coming back in the third and you're doing this, that, and the other thing. And what is this team? Anyway, I digress. The reason you're feeling the absence of Matt Zuccarello stronger than you should be is because nobody claimed that spot that he left vacant when he went down with this injury. You were hoping it was Liam Ogren. Apparently, that's not it. Vladimir Tarasenko, a couple assists on the power play. He hasn't done much. He can't win a board battle to save his life. And meanwhile, you've got Marcus Johansson over on the other side who turns over the puck because he fans it 98% of the time. I can't watch it anymore. I can't. Anyway, that felt good.
He's a great skater. He's a fantastic. I mean, just watch him skate with the greatest of ease. I mean, it's fun to watch him skate.
It's like he likes to go 80% and then just be like,
his problem is,
and we'll figure this out. Like, I have time. Like, you don't have time. You need to move the puck. Like, it's too early for me to be so riled up by a man, but I am. I just am. It's early in the day and early in the season, I mean, too. Like, it's a couple games in, but it's just it's this just very da-da-da la-la land. I think Age said it best. It's like, it's too chill. Like, you need to be less chill.
Yeah. I think it starts with their zone entry too. And that's my takeaway from the past couple of games, which is it's been, and granted, it was super sloppy. What was the first game at home? Who was that against?
Columbus.
Well,
Zeev struggles with zone entries
very badly.
Zeev doesn't really, that hasn't clicked yet. But to go back to the point, Jess, the point is, where's it going to come? Where's it going to come from? Just work harder. Okay. I still don't see, like, I see guys that have basically bricks for hands.
Yeah.
How are they going to score goals? And Tarasenko right now just looks like, I mean, he scored 11 goals last year. And we're all like, oh, it was with Detroit. He still scored 11 goals in 80 games. He's lost, at least for now, and it might just be gone. Like, he was a sniper. That's what he was. Like, if you're expecting an ancillary game, you don't get an ancillary game from him. You get the sniper game. And if the sniper is gone, then he's basically cooked.
Yeah, I mean, I think it comes from Billy having to pick up the phone. We had talked about it before that he was going to have to look at that, but that's the only way you're going to do it because on this roster, it's not there. It's just not. I don't think you're going to find it within. It's Yakov Trenin's redemption arc. That doesn't mean that he was going to be a 20-goal scorer all of a sudden, right? Like, you just have a team that's full of third and fourth liners versus that second line that you desperately need. So yes, and I would say when Zuccarello does come back, that is going to help, but that's because you have nothing else right now. You're going from 0 to a 10, which would be on a scale of 100 for the record. But it's just kind of, that's the only way to do it. I don't see another thing. You're not going to change the way that Tarasenko finds the back of the net because it's just, he's older and he's a step slower and not quite finding the pockets like he used to 5 years ago when he was a lethal threat for the St. Louis Blues. That's just not who he is anymore. Marcus Johansson on a 1-year league minimum contract isn't going to be that guy. You couldn't have possibly imagined him to be by giving him that contract in the first place. So it has to come from outside. It has to come from a call-up. I don't think it's going to come from Iowa either, unfortunately, at this point. We saw Hunter Haight come down. Ben Jones isn't going to be the answer to that either. He wasn't recalled to play top 6 minutes. So you're going to have to make a move, Billy. Ball's in your court, bud.
And the thing there is, like, who is going to be a seller of a decent winger this early in the season? Because, it's either the waiting game of bringing Matt Zuccarello back, and then how quickly is he going to get reacclimated to hopping into NHL speed at that point? I'm going to say mid-season hockey. Or you're going to have to look for a team that is just so willing to, like, by Thanksgiving, you know what? Hey, hands are up. We got Gavin McKenna in mind. We just want to just coast away. What's your best offer?
New York Rangers.
Is it Buffalo? Is Tage Thompson, who months ago we were talking about, is he suddenly going to be on the table for Bill Guerin to go after? Because, Elliot Friedman reported the other day that apparently there is a runway for guys like him, for Dahlin, where they're saying, look, we need to see there's an actual project here in Buffalo, and we're going to be taking steps forward because those guys, they're in the prime years of their career. They want to be able to win. And right now it looks like through 4 games, it's nothing but losses for the Sabres fans this year. We've got fans in bags already in the stands. We've got empty stands. We've got fans ranting about how they haven't made the playoffs since they were 4 years old. Times are bad there. Get those guys out, start fresh, go after some new blood. And that's why Tage Thompson is going to look great in green.
Oh, Sabres fans crashing out is one of my new favorite videos to see. It's just, I feel for him, man.
My bad.
That's all right.
My dog's cage just fell. I'm very much like John Hines. I've lost control of my team. Well, the problem too, though, is let's say that you can make a trade there, which by the way, I think there's a far better chance that they make a substantial move. They're not. The Wild now, especially in light of the Kaprizov contract, is going to continue to try to be all in as possible. So, they're not going to bail. But if you go to that, what's the earliest that Buffalo would make such a move? Around Thanksgiving? And it's going to cost you an absolute ton. But that's the thing is, if this doesn't pick up, and again, I don't look at these lines and say, oh, okay, this guy, Tarasenko is going to score 30, 40 goals. You just wait. It feels to me, and famous last words, it feels to me like Thomas Vanek too. Okay, this guy was once great. He was fantastic, but he's past that prime. So Jess, if you're going to make a trade with a Buffalo, Thanksgiving at the earliest, and it's going to cost you. It's going to be incredibly expensive. But what's your thought about when a team like the Sabres might punt when they went into this season, again, having some expectations?
Thanksgiving makes the most sense because, as we all know, that's kind of the line that everybody draws as to where the playoffs are. Your team is a playoff team by Thanksgiving or it's not, right? That seems to be the analysis. But Buffalo, I feel like they don't want to lose complete control of their fan base either. So I wouldn't be surprised if they do look at it a little bit sooner. If they get an offer sooner, Billy comes to him and says, hey, you guys you're in kind of a mess, right? People are making AI videos of babies being born in Buffalo and running away because they don't want to deal with the Sabres. It's hilarious. Again, it's a great side of TikTok to be on.
I
But
gotta
I
find
think
these.
you're gonna have if you're Buffalo, you're having that conversation. You are figuring this out because you can't, and you still have. It's not even just Tage Thompson there, right? Like you have enough other talent that you don't want to have wasted away either necessarily. So you're taking the calls, I would say, starting next week. I would say Halloween time even wouldn't be completely out of sight, out of mind, because again, that condensed schedule, it gives you a larger sample size earlier, I think, too. You can kind of see what's working and what's not. That could work to the advantage for guys like Bill Guerin who want to add that help, and teams like Buffalo who are going to have to unload sooner than they usually would probably.
I feel the opposite way about it. I mean,
Really?
only because we talk about, like, with Craig Leopold here in Minnesota, how much a second round match would mean to him financially. Like, as much as he wants to see the team win, financially, getting seats filled for a second round playoff matchup is great for revenue. I'm sure Terry Pegula, who hasn't made the playoffs since some people were 4 years old, like, they just want to fill seats altogether during the regular season. Like, if you are punting already, it screams. What did the Rangers do that year at the trade deadline, where they sent out
The letter?
the letter of, like, hey, we understand why you must be frustrated, and we are too, but also we're not doing anything, so just bear with us while we suck for a little while. You don't do that by Halloween. You don't do, I'm paraphrasing there, ladies and gentlemen.
Right.
But Tage Thompson is your star attraction right now. Him and Rasmus Dahlin. And if you move one of those stars off of Buffalo Boulevard out there,
Right.
it's going to be a tough time. And then it's like, well, if he's going to move, why aren't you moving the other guy? And then you have full revolt. I feel like it's too early to, even by Halloween or Thanksgiving. I think
Thanksgiving's it. I
But
agree
then
with
start
that.
printing the Gavin McKenna jerseys and just get people back in on that.
Well-
Be like, oh, well, we'll get this guy for you.
but where do you go then? Like you can't, like it feels like the Wild is stuck. Like, even if one guy gets going a little bit, like let's say Tarasenko pops up, okay, that's still not the answer. I mean, the only thing that I can think of, and John Hines appears to be dead set on not doing this. The only thing I can think of is you give Ogren a second line chance. I mean, Johansson brings nothing. I would rather hemorrhage goals. I would rather have irresponsible wing play defensively than watch that guy skate around. Like, the biggest problem with JoJo's game is it involves a puck and a stick. Because, like, if you just gave him the skates, it's great. Like, that dude can skate, but he's useless. And so, what are you going to do here? The only short-term thing, and I agree with Jessi too. I mean, I think you got to look to make a trade probably. But the only thing short-term, if you're not going to make a trade, is to give Ogren a chance, because I find it funny that you're like, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to juggle the centers. Now, they did in the second period briefly put Baldi on the second line with Eriksson Ek. But again, Johansson's the other wing. It didn't help. And then Hines panicked, and he's like, okay, screw it. Baldi, Kaprizov, Ek. Well, that's fine, except for the fact that Rossi, who didn't have a great game, and a lot of guys didn't, but that's not going to fix your problem. The other thing that I don't know if you guys have watched, but the other thing is, because of this problem, and Jessi talked about it, she's right, the condensed schedule and like the Olympic break, which some guys won't get, through the first 4 games, let me give you the ice times for Baldi and Kaprizov, okay?
Okay.
So the ice times for these two in the first 4 games, I know it's a small sample size, but where it's trending is concerning. So Baldi against the Blues, 16:54. Then against the Blue Jackets, 25:24. That's defenseman minutes. A good defenseman, a really good one. Then against the Kings, 24:27. Then last night, 25:40. He averages, coming into this season, ice time, 18:40. He has been over 20, or he's been over 25 twice now and almost at it once. Kaprizov, first game again, 16:23. That's not bad at all. Next game, 24:13. Kings game, 25, because he played in the OT as well. And then the Stars game last night, 24:42. Even Kaprizov came into the season averaging 20:26. So are you just going to grind these guys to nothing. Like it will take. I mean, Matt Baldi to me, that's the one that jumps off the page, Jessi. 1840 his career average, and like again, these are the type of things they feel forced to do it because they got no one else who can play.
Well, it's that, but it's also a combination of the amount of penalties that are called and the amount of time that the team spent on the power play, right? Like that unit is significantly better than the second unit for all
100%.
intents and purposes. So you're going to play that. But yeah, it's indicative to how you feel about this team. I don't trust anybody else but this top line. We're a one-trick pony right now. And even they can't score 5-on-5, but we're going to figure it out. We're going to put them on the ice. And it'll work for a little bit. I mean, Kirill in particular, I think, could eat. He's a workhorse, right? Boldy, I don't know, can do that. I don't think that's Boldy type play, right? Like he's an incredible player, but that's not something that's going to be sustainable for him of all things. So it's another kind of a small little cry for help. Like we don't have anything. We talk about not having centers. We also don't have that either. You don't have the wings. Like it's concerning to say the least. When Liam Ogren can't crack, let me try this again. Cannot crack your top six.
Crap's a fine word. Yeah. Just go with crap. I was rolling with you.
It is crap. It's just sad. It makes me sad sometimes. But if you can't put him there. That's just says a lot about what you think of your offensive lineup, I think.
What I need is for between now and Friday, John Hines and Liam Ogren and even Dania Yurov at this point need to go in a back room and just do trust falls for hours after hours until he feels comfortable enough putting them in a more significant role. Because it's getting to the point where we're 4 seasons in, and I know I'm sick of talking about him. I'm sure people listening and watching are already sick of us talking about him, but I can't do 90 in a top 6 role anymore. He's done nothing to deserve it. He does nothing to earn it. It's just blind reward for absolutely no reason. And I'm over it. For as much as the argument is, well, he's played in the league and all this, spare me. I don't care. At least show me what you're going to do with these younger guys, because it's just, we have nothing to go off of. The 8 to 10-ish minutes that they're playing a night is in a very different role than what he would be normally playing if it's in a top 6 role. I just need to see it. Like Foligno, that's a third line guy. That the third line should just stay what it is. Trenyan, he's been, and granted the bar was incredibly low in my mind coming into the season, but he has been very pleasant. I've enjoyed the time that he's been on the ice. He's been great. Ryan Hartman, first couple games, we saw a lot of the same of last year. Last 2 games, I think it's resorted back to what Judd was nervous about, and he's correct on that. And Marcus Foligno is doing Marcus Foligno things. He's doing what I expect of him. It's the 90 and 28 flip that needs to happen, at least for a game. John Hines, just give that to me once, and then I'll shut up, because either you're going to prove me right or you're going to prove me wrong. And either way, then we can just move on. I just need one game where Liam Ogren at least gets a chance, whether or not he did it in preseason, whether or not you're liking what he's doing on the fourth line. He's at least shown that, one, he's got some grit to him. He's anxious to get into the dirty areas. I mean, this is what we saw over the weekend, where him and that fourth line were flying in deep, laying the body. Granted, he's a little smaller than some of the guys, and you saw this last night. I think he got knocked on his wallet a time or two. But in terms of height, I think he went up against was it Lindell? Is he 6'3"? I think he got knocked down. Yeah. That was whatever. The good game by him anyways last night. But I need a long-winded way of saying, let's get one game of just, let's try it out. Because
how about a week?
I would love that, but I need to start with a game.
How about a week where John Hines is told you're not going to change it at the first mistake? And so Marcus Johansson is 13 games from 1,000. And if he was playing poorly on the fourth line, I would say they're Goligoskiing him. And they're going to get him to 1,000, and then he's going to sit by us for the rest of the season, which would be great. But he's on the second line. So I don't think he is 13 games from 1,000, and I think he's going to, at the current rate, keep going. But Jessi, I think age is right. But I mean, let's have Ogren there for a week. Let's give him top 6 for a week and see how it plays out, as opposed to this, he is not responsible enough, so we're going to play a guy who isn't very good because he's a veteran.
You won't see it. You'll see Ryan Hartman move to the right wing on the second line before you ever see that. I'm thinking about that out loud as I say it.
Good
I'm
call.
like, that's going to happen. Like, you're going to move Ryan Hartman to the second line wing because he has the speed. He can. Ben Jones is going to come in at center, or you're going to move Vinny back to center. Just what you're going to do.
And Hartman's
going to stay put right where he is, and Marcus Johansson is as well.
And Hartman's going to take a stupid penalty, and it's going to be a complete mess. Hey, let's talk about something more fun, because the power play has been incredible thus far. And it's fired now at 9 goals in the past 3 games, I think, because the 10th goal was the technical shootout win goal. I've got it. I've got the power play entering Tuesday. 10 of 21, is that correct?
Yep, I think 71.4%.
It's
what I saw,
incredible.
Which is like 4th in the league.
But here's what I want to talk about. The Zeev Buium experience on the power play might be one of the most interesting. I know you're shaking your head, but it might be one of the most interesting things I've seen, because the zone entries are really, really rough, but yet the skating and his ability to move the puck in the zone is really impressive. So, Age, in fact, I'll throw it to you because I know that you're not going to shake your head. Talk to me about your thoughts about the Zeev Buium experience on the power play, because it feels like a complete experience. The good, the bad, the ugly, but it's actually working.
I think there's even the great, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Like there's a lot of really good highs, and there's also some very low lows. Don't get me wrong. Starting with the lows, the zone entry is rough. I will admit that. Like they look like they're learning a new language, just doing a drop pass in the neutral zone, trying to get in, and that has to be fixed. That simply, imagine how much more efficient it would be if you could just get into the zone first or second go, and not on the 4th or 5th.
Sure,
crazy. But what I will say, when they give him the puck at the top to quarterback, the thing that I absolutely love is that he's got a wrist shot that finds the net. It's not a shot that hits a shin pad or a body out front. He's able to do a shot that either gets to the front, or like last night, I think his shot was going to go well wide, but he put it in a spot for, was it Matt Baldi or Eric Sinek who tipped it? Baldi, thank you. He put it in a spot where Matt Boldy's able to tip and deflect it in, because he's not going to, like, he's got good precision, but he's also getting it through bodies, and that's what I want. Mm-hmm. 2, he's able to maneuver on the top really, really well. It makes my heart race a couple times, because like there was late in the game, he kind of just had his back to the net, and he's just like trying to fend off a body, and then he works his way out of it. But there's a second where I'm holding my breath. But he moves the puck well, and they certainly have some chemistry there. My one argument about why you can't take him off is you look at what they did last year. What was it, 20th best power play in the league? Something like that?
Yeah.
When you look at what has changed over last year to this year, there's 2 personnel changes. One of them is 91, and I'll tell you what, he is not the difference maker. The other one's 8. That's
4 assists for Tarasenko. You know,
he can feed the puck.
He can feed the puck.
Yeah,
he literally just passed. He's just like, here's the pass.
The pros in my mind are highly outweighing the cons. I don't think you can move him.
And we can't. Well, and we also can't complain about Ogren not playing and then say Buium shouldn't play more. No. Now, Jessi, I get your concerns. I totally get that, and your frustration. It's probably like one of your kids. You love them, but yet they make a mess, and you don't like that. Yes. But that being said, it is an experience. And I'm with AJ. His ability to get the puck through, which, by the way, he makes look simple. It's like, oh, of course he can get the puck through. Mm-hmm. You watch a bunch of guys, and it is hard. So are you willing to be patient? Are you willing to be patient? Because they are scoring on the power play.
Give him a chance, Jessi.
Last night I wasn't. It's an unpopular opinion and it's funny because I said even this on our Bar Down Beauties episode. I love that he is getting all the opportunities and he is staying out there even when he is making the most egregious mistakes and turnovers. There are so many times where you can tell this is a college hockey player. Like, buddy, this ain't a college hockey game anymore, though. Like, and sometimes the way that he tries to take that moment, he tries to dipsy doodle around a guy. Like, you can't do that. These guys are going to stop you. This isn't, some guy that's not going to make it to the NHL. The only reason I get concerned. I don't want to say concerned even. The thing I don't like about Zeev on running that power play sometimes is I also think it would be beneficial for him to be pulled off so he can just breathe, so he can kind of catch his breath and get back into this different mindset sometimes. And it's mostly just the turnovers and the fear that I have sometimes with him up there. I'm comfortable with Jared Spurgeon running that top unit. I really am.
But
and Faber would be on the second.
But what's the upside to Spurgeon? I mean, he scored a power play goal a couple nights ago. I get that. And yes, he is reliable. But to me,
I need a responsible defenseman to run my power play, and that's not Z.
But that feels like John Hines. John Hines loves that. I want a responsible player.
Responsible defenseman.
Like, they're scoring a ton of goals, and this guy is... Like, I love the fact that they're allowing him to sort of learn.
Yes.
And this is what I want. This is how you play the kids. This is how it works. So I get your points. And yes, there are times it's really, really rough.
It's really rough.
But then
that entry is awful. Like, it is trash.
That should be able
so
to
bad.
Well, okay. There's some fixes here. First of all, can we please stop? And for the love of God, and this is an NHL problem, the blind drop pass on the power play. Can we, and by the way, Bouillon had one last night that was as lazy as it gets. Like if you're watching that on film and you're an opponent, you can jump that pass and pick it off. So can we please stop? Can we please allow him to carry the puck and pass it like a normal human being? These setups, I hate that blind drop pass. Oh, he's going to have more speed coming into the zone. I'd rather dump and chase it and tell my guys, go get the freaking puck, than drop it back. But anyway, there are some things I think that AJ's right can be fixed, but I am not going to sit here and accept this Zeev slander.
I'm sorry. Last night I was a little heated, all right? I was just getting a little tired of it.
The texts were lighting up.
and I had sent you guys the text about how bad the entry was and how I'm just kind of done with the Zeev thing. It was maybe a little premature. You're right. I enjoy allowing Zeev to make his mistakes, take his lumps, and get back out there and learn the way of the NHL. But I don't know. It just was bothersome. And you're right. And it's hard. And it sounds, people are going to probably tear me apart in the comments because it does. It sounds stupid. It's like, how are you going to say that about a power play that has scored 9 straight goals? It's the little things. It's the details that are driving me nuts. And I'm just being critical because
you want them to score 10 straight times, not just 9.
Yes, exactly.
But fix that then. Like, that's the thing. Fix it.
It's what we were talking about, and Judd went on a rant with 3-on-3 overtime the other day after that debacle that we saw on Monday night. But my mindset is you want offense. He is the best offensive defenseman by far on the team, given his shortcomings. I just don't think he can move that off. But But you're exactly right that there are some things that are glaringly obvious, need to be addressed, like the zone entry. For sure.
I want the growing pains. Give me the growing pains, because on 5-on-5, you're being safe. And I'm going to tell you right now, the 5-on-5 wild marriage is dead. It's a dead marriage. There's no emotion. There's nothing left. That house, they're staying together for the kids, and that's
separate
it.
rooms. They're not even in the same
exactly
bed.
right. The marriage, that 5-on-5, they are dead. And they're lifeless, and their eyes have no life. I want the Zeev experience. All right, we are done. Jessi, before we go, though, plug Bar Down, what's coming up, and where can people find that on a regular basis on the Score North feeds?
New ep dropped this week where we kind of tore into the Marcus Johansson situation, as you can imagine. But I also talked about defensive woes, too, which is something we didn't get to address today. But I think there's some real concerns about how porous the defense has been and kind of the different pairings that they're trying to figure out. We touched on Yurchek and what the expectation should be for them when he should get some ice. But go listen to it and find out. YouTube, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your pods. You can find us all over on the Score North channel on YouTube as well. So enjoy.
Awesome stuff. All right. She's Jessi. He's AJ. I'm Judd. We'll talk to you soon on Judd's Hockey Show.